It is officially the middle of December. JP Morosi, a few pieces have fallen. Who is next? Good Monday morning to you. You called it, by the way. You told me Kyle Schwarber before Kyle Tucker. And now I need to know about Tucker, where he will go, money, and to whom. To who or whom? Which is it?
Lauren, good Monday morning to you and all of our viewers here today. Kyle Tucker is the man that so many people in the industry are focused on. What we know at this hour is the following. He has made a visit to the Blue Jays spring training complex there in Dunedin, Florida, which is very near to where he grew up and where he lives. And we do believe the Jays will be in there until the end. What we don't know is exactly who else will be in there as the finalists making the last pitches for Kyle Tucker. And certainly two teams right now stand out to me, the Dodgers and the Yankees. Will Tucker's representation circle back around with those two large market teams, two of the great titans of our industry, to see if they will meet or exceed whatever numbers have been mentioned by the Blue Jays side? But I do think, Lauren, we talked about how the Schwarber domino would go first, and of course that's what happened among the big-time bats. But this is now the next question, because the Tucker market will impact Bo Bichette. We do not expect the Jays to get both. It is a one or the other scenario. It certainly seems as though the Tucker decision will come before the Bichette decision. So if Tucker ends up going to Toronto, Bichette likely will go elsewhere, Atlanta being one of the possibilities. But I do think that we'll see probably in the next 48 to 72 hours, do the Yankees, do the Dodgers, potentially do the Giants jump in, or are the Blue Jays truly the favorites? We don't know that yet. But again, that should become clearer, Lauren, in the next couple days.
Oh, I like that timeline, 48 to 72, a little bit clearer. The picture will become, all he's known outside the Astros are the Cubs. Speaking of, Alex Bregman spent 9 years in Houston. And JP, even though he signed late, what a fit in Boston. Here's the thing, he'd be a fit with any team. What does he want? What's his preference? Do we know?
Lauren, it's a great question. And certainly if he's able to keep the AAV or around the AAV that he had this past year in Boston and then multiply it over the longer term deal that he wants, I think that's exactly what Bregman is looking for. And from what sources around the industry are saying, he probably still has the best chance to get that type of a deal in Boston. The question, of course, remains, who else is going to be in there to potentially bid up the price? We just talked, and Harold and Matt discussed in the A block, Jorge Polanco going to the Mets. That is the type of deal that David Stearns is comfortable signing, a 1 or a 2 year deal. Obviously, if David Stearns was comfortable going super long term, 5 years or longer with a corner infielder, he probably would have done that with the guy they already had in Pete Alonso. They obviously did not. Pete Alonso now a Baltimore Orioles. So I find it difficult to believe that the Mets would do the same thing with Alex Bregman. Similarly, there has been some interest in Bregman from the Philadelphia Phillies, but that was somewhat contingent on this being a fallback option if they did not get Schwarber, and they also still have an incumbent third baseman in Alec Bohm. Would they sign Bregman to a 5-year deal, let's say, before trading Alec Bohm? Seems unlikely at this moment in time. So again, these signs continue to point that Bregman is likely having his best fit with the Red Sox. We know the Tigers were involved last winter, as were the Cubs, but the situation is a bit different now, with the Cubs being at least somewhat comfortable with Matt Shaw, unless they were to move Shaw to second and then trade Nico Horner, a possibility. The Tigers' ability to spend somewhat diminished by the fact that Gleyber Torres has accepted the qualifying offer. So you start to look around the different options, Lauren. The Boston Red Sox, to me, still the clearest and best option of all for Alex Bregman.
A three-time All-Star, two-time World Series champion. The timing is fascinating, JP. The Diamondbacks were on the doorstep of a World Series win. They welcome back Merrill Kelly, 2 years, $40 million. Do we have to read between the lines on what that means for Ketel Marte? Is one connected to the other or no? What do you think?
It's a great question, Lauren. What I was told, I spoke with a source this morning on this just about an hour or so ago. The Diamondbacks are still engaged in trade talks for Ketel Marte. So in no way does the Kelly signing close the door on a Ketel Marte trade. But it is a fair question to ask because, again, with Marte's name being out there, I was told throughout the winter meetings last week, the reason why the D-backs are listening on Marte is that they wanted to get multiples of pitching back. And so there is still, though, when you think about what the D-backs have in their starting pitching depth chart, they still need to get at least one starter and maybe two. And for them right now, especially if they want to try to control their costs after spending on Kelly, the best way for the D-backs to get multiples of pitching back that's not going to cost them a ton of money is to trade Ketel Marte. And to circle back to something we just talked about, one team that has certainly been in there and talking with them about Marte and as the young pitching to move, yes, the same Boston Red Sox who still have interest in Alex Bregman.
Full circle, still in business, still in talks. JP, usually I feel like we wait to judge a move until maybe 6 months or a year down the road. So far this offseason, what is top of mind in terms of, I like that, it's gonna work, it's a good fit?
I'm raising my hand and saying a great job, as the Mad Dog would say, great job out of you
Good
to
job.
the St. Louis Cardinals on the Dustin May signing. 1 year deal. And again, May's performance this past year was a little up and down. He actually had one of his higher whips, one of his higher ERA pluses in terms of a struggle of his entire major league career. And yet, the innings pitched were also the best. So there you see it. The ERA was high, lost 11 ball games. The whip was high, but so were the innings. And for someone that has battled health and injuries over his career, that innings total to me spoke volumes, his highest he's ever had. So I'm going to believe that now that he's gone actually 2 full years basically without getting on a major league mound, now that he's been back, now that he's had a normal offseason, I expect big things from May with the Cardinals in 2026. And why is a 1 year deal great? Well, if he pitches well, he becomes an outstanding trade candidate in the month of July. So I think for Chaim Bloom, who, by the way, is still focused on moving a lot of players out, Brendan Donovan's probably going to get traded. Nolan Arenado's probably going to get traded. Gorman, Burleson, a lot of names that could be moving out. I love this idea. You bring in the good one-year starting pitchers. You expect that someone who's been a top prospect in the game in his younger years with the Dodgers is going to rebuild his value, and maybe he's either someone that stays with you on a qualifying offer in the future, or he winds up being someone that you trade at the deadline. And again, speaking of the great Midwest, as Harold was, I was following with great interest that Nebraska-Texas A&M volleyball match. College volleyball, if you have not watched college volleyball, you are missing out. A couple things there. Harper Murray for Nebraska, outstanding player.
Yeah.
She is from Ann Arbor, amazing family here in Ann Arbor. Harper played great yesterday, amazing leader as well. Harper's helping to grow the game here in Ann Arbor. So we in Ann Arbor, huge fans of Harper Murray. Great game by her yesterday. And Lauren, and this will create a lot of joy, I'm sure, as I say this to you. My daughter Elena, who turns 11 today, by the way, I ended up with no experience in the game, playing or coaching. I was coaching her 5th grade volleyball team this winter. And if you think it was hilarious, it was just as funny and awesome as you imagine it was. I think we were 3-3 on the year. I was much more of a not a very good technical coach, everybody. But we did we had a lot of fun, and our kids played great, and they made me a better coach.
No.
We think Boston. I'm done on the volleyball, but again, congratulations to Harper Murray on a great season. That's the most important message there.
Thanks today.
There's something else,
Not
JP.
stink. You be nice. JP Morosi, don't listen to him.
JP's the best.